Hi all, welcome back to Ego, the skill provider. So what exactly we're discussing something called active and passive, right? So you are aware that active and passive voices are important whenever it comes to spoken English because there are certain situations in your life where you need to use passive. You need to use passive only because you don't want to focus on the subject. Subject part re apana subject mane who is doing the work, who does the work, right? Or did the work ତାପରେ ଆପଣ focus ନ କରି if you are trying to focus on the action part and that is something called we call it passive. So there are numerous examples are there. So we have taken two classes on that. One is called active and passive, like part one, part two, and this is the part three. And what exactly I'm going to teach you? I'm going to teach you modals in passive, something called modals. Modals in passive. Modals are very powerful to express certain things. So modal or modal verbs, you call them. Okay. You call it modals or you call it modal verbs. They don't express themselves, but they can change the meaning of a sentence. Let me give some example of modals. Okay. Suppose I say, I can drive a car. This is the first sentence I have given. My car, it will be better. So it should have a meaning. I can drive my car. The second thing is that I have to drive my car. This is the second sentence. I will drive my car. This is the third sentence. Let me give another example. I should drive my car. Look, I have written four sentences where I is common. Check it out. I is common. And also drive my car is common. Check it out. Drive my car is common. So here I say can, have to, will, and should. These are called modals, right? Can, have to, will, and should. These are called modals. And believe me, my friends, I can drive my car is entirely different from I have to drive my car because these modals change the meaning of a sentence. ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ଏଇଠି କ'ଣ ଲେଖା ହେଇଛି I can drive my car. That means I express my ability. I have the ability. I don't drive every day. I have the ability. If somebody asks me, do you cook? Yes, I can cook. That means I don't cook every day. My mom, a lot of people are at my home, they are cooking. But I don't cook, but I have the ability. I know. That means I know how to cook. So this is express ability. I have to drive my car. Look, I have a car and I have a driver. But unfortunately, the driver is on leave today. So who will drive the car? I don't have a second driver with me. So what I have to do? I have to drive my car because I am forced to do something. So this is something called I am forced. So I can call it compulsion. This is called compulsion. Means I am forced. I will drive my car. It's just like I will drive my car. That means in future, who will drive this car? Yeah, I drive my car. So this is called future possibility. This is called future possibility. And this is called I should drive my car. Look, my driver is drunk right now. Think that. My driver is drunk. So he can't drive it properly. So I should drive my car. Because It is kind of, just like advice, or you should drive your car. Don't give that guy. So it is something called advice. Look, there are different situations are there. Here, this is a situation, this is a situation, this is a situation, this is a situation. And these four different situations, we have four different models. So like we have a lot of models are there. We have can, could, shall, should, will, would, may, might, need to, must, ought, would, should, all the things are there. There are 14 models. Okay. And I do have also something called past models. Could have, would have, should have. We have model of deduction also. What do you call it? Model of deduction. Must have, something called can't have, something called might have or may have. So upon अनेक गुड़े models जानिछंती. There are so many models. Those who have not attended, I think Manas sir has not attended. So you will be given a separate class for that. Don't worry. अपन आज जो संगीत हमें जो प्रसंगरे नहीं चंती, try to understand. So models. This is something called I can drive a car. I have to drive a car. I'll drive a car, and I should drive a car. These are called active voice. Why? It starts with a subject. This starts with a subject. Upon देखो तो subject to start is. I have, I'll do, I am teaching. So whenever anything and everything starts with a subject, it becomes an active voice, right? But there are certain situations we don't want the subject should be identified. अर्थात हमें ऑब्जेक्ट को सब्जेक्ट को आइडेंटिफाई करिया ପାଇଁ चाहना. Suppose, let me give an example. I think this is clear to everybody. Okay, you take a screenshot if possible. I am going to take the next one. Okay, suppose I went to Jay Sir's house yesterday. I went to Jay Sir's house yesterday. I find, so he has a computer. He has a computer. I find a lot of problems with the computer. The antivirus is outdated. Something called the keyboard is not working. There are numerous problems are there with the computer, with the system. तो मु जय सर कौन कहबी? Normally as a friend मु कौन कहबी? You should repair the computer. You should repair the computer. So this is the advice, or this is the things I can should use for giving an advice. Okay, this is a model used for advice. I advise him. Please repair the computer, or you should repair the computer. Suppose you are facing a lot of problems, health issue. What I can say, look, you should consult a doctor. It's advice. It's not binding. It's not legally binding. The money advice is entirely different from whenever you are forced. I'm forcing you to do, but it's a kind of advice. Apano mani paranti, no mani paranti. It depends upon you. Mo sarung कहली sir, you should repair your computer. କିନ୍ତୁ ସାର୍ କହିବେ ନା repair କିଛି କରିବା ଦରକାର ଥାଉ ସେମିତି ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ନୂଆଟେ କିଣିଦବା. That depends upon him, right? So here should is used for, suppose you are trying to give advice to somebody, in that particular time you can use should. Right now, so focus kaha par rahichi? The focus is on you. This is called active. This is called active voice. You should repair the cup. Look, mo tanko ghare lot of people are there. His brother is there, his father is there, a lot of people are there. तो जो माने भी कंप्यूटर यूज करछंती तो तांको मु आइडेंटिफाई न करी मोर काम होची व्हाई शुड आई आइडेंटिफाई मु कहबी जे आपनकर कंप्यूटर टा रिपेयर इज दरकार. तो हाउ एग्जैक्टली आई एम गोइंग टू से द कंप्यूटर should be repaired. So this is the things I can tell in a passive. So what exactly you can find? What is the passive rules? This is called object. Plus here is the model. plus B plus V3. And this is something called modals in passive. Okay. Object modal plus B plus V3. And V3 is common in every situation. V3 is common in every situation because this is passive. I was taken to the hospital. Take to taken. Repair, repaired, repaired, repair, repaired, repaired. The three things are there. Okay. So what exactly? Repair, repaired, repaired. So this is called V3. This is V2, and this is V3. And this V3 should be always there. Okay. As this is passive. So this is something called modals in passive. You give a lot of examples, my friends. Let me give you another example. Upon suppose you are a math teacher. Manas sir is a math teacher. तो sir गोटे math teacher देखिले I am also a math teacher. तो sir कौन कहउछन हां ए गणितटा हेइ जिवो. आपण कहउछन कि सेटे गणितटा मु करि देबी. नो. हेइ जिवो. कोन पई आपण कहउछन देयर इज अ रीजन बिहाइंड दैट. Forget about English. आपण ओडिया रे मध्य let me tell you 40% of your conversation rooted through passive only. You are not using active most of the time. किंतु very unfortunately आपण जेतले इंग्लिश यूज करंती लैंग्वेज टी से समय आपण सब एक्टिव रे यूज करंती. आपण कोन दे हां हेइ जिवो एटा हेइ जिवो सर एटा हेइ जिवो माने कोन किए करिवो आपण कहउछंती कि आपण करिवे बट आपण कहउछन हां एटा हेइ जिवो काहे कि यू डोंट वांट टू ऑफेंड मी आई एम ए टीचर एंड यू आर ए टीचर आल्सो. तो सर मु करि देबी एटा गोटे अहंभाव आसी जाउची. आपण फील करंती ओडिया रे ना एटा गोटे ठीक हलानी. तो आपण केमती कोन हां सर एटा हेइ जिवो. It will be done or it can be done. आपण कहउनांती मु ए गणितटा कर देबी. आपण कहउछन एटा हेइ जिवो. That is called passive. तो ओडिया रे मध्य आपण almost 40% of your conversation goes through passive. किंतु अनफॉर्चुनेटली आपण इंग्लिश रे करंती आपण सब एक्टिव यूज कर दियंती. बिकॉज़ आपण जानि पाउ नांती कोठे यूज करियो आपण माइंड रे उठे बाय क्लॉज लागियो. नो बाय क्लॉज इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड. आपण कहउछंती हां एटा मो द्वारा हेइ जिवो केबे भी कहउनांती. आपण ओडिया भाबंतु आपण तो आमे गोटे भाषा को नउछंती ना ए सिचुएशन क्रिएट करछंती आमे ट्रांसलेशन करनांती. मु कहउची आमे सिचुएशन क्रिएट कर. यू आर ट्राइंग टू अप्लाई एसबीएल टेक्निक सिचुएशन बेस्ड लर्निंग. लेट्स क्रिएट द सिचुएशन. आपण को मु गोटे गणितटा देखैली मु कहली अच्छा मानस सर एटा हेइ जिवो एटा देखिले टिके हां सर एटा हेइ जिवो. तो हेइ जिवो माने किए कर दबो कहउछंती आपण कथा आपण कहउना. Okay, you are not telling I can solve the problem. एटा आपण कहू नाहंती. What exactly you are telling? The problem can be solved. This is the things you are going to tell most of the time. And this is called something called passive in modals. This is called passive in modals. That's very important. Look, what exactly I can tell you, my friends. आमे जेते पढुछंती the more you know go in the front side. आमे जेते आगु आगु जाउछंती. What exactly you understand? Look, every time we are trying to look here, we are not focusing on the solution part. आपण गोटे गैरेज वाला पाखु जाउछंती. Suppose take the example of मंदाकिनी मैम. तो मंदाकिनी मैम कर स्कूटी खराब हे जाउछि. मैडम स्कूल जाउथवा समय स्कूटी खराब हे जाउछि. तो मैडम जाउछंती. She has only 30 minutes left with him. तो मैडम कौन कहउछंती जे से गैरेज वाला को देखंतु मते 10 मिनिट रे बाहरिबार अछि एटा टे कर देबे. हां मैडम हेइ जिवो. से कहउछि कि आज्ञा मु करि देबी कि मो पिला माने कर देबे. नो हेइ जिवो. It will be done. It will be done. So it will be done just like object modal B, or the scooty will be done or the scooty will be repaired. Depend. So most of the time आपण गोटे रेस्टोरेंट जाउछंती. you are going to a restaurant, right? तो सेठी जो waiter अछि से आपन कहथिला 30 minutes wait करिया but you know it is getting delayed. Somewhat you become irritated. So आपन कोन डाकिबे ताकू come here एते समय कोन लागुची सर आ 5 मिनिट टाइम दियंतु हे जीवो से कहूची मु आनी कि देई दउची सर 5 मिनिट टाइम वेट करंतो हे जीवो it will be served in 30 minutes or 20 minutes 10 minutes that's it. आपण देखुथिबे एठारे सेकंड हैंड कार बिका जाए से कहूची मु बिकुची कहूची नो प्री ओन्ड कार्स प्री ओन्ड second hand pre-owned there is a difference. What is the difference? Pre-owned is equal to second hand. अपन देखुते बहुत जगह pre-owned car लिखा है pre-owned car. Second hand car, second hand imagine go to very normal words anybody can understand. अपन गां गहले जहाँ को पचारिबे second hand बुझी जिवे but pre-owned is somewhat you should remember it is a pre-owned car त माने এটা second hand car. That's an advanced I mean vocabs. Pre-owned car, okay. This is called pre-owned. तमने second hand. यार अर्थ होला second hand. Okay, but we don't use second hand because you guys are church. You guys are respect positions, occupy respect positions in the society. So don't use second hand car. Say it is a pre-owned car. That means pre means purvaru. Au jane own karthila. That means second hand. So but in spoken English. Always use I'm going to purchase a pre-owned car. That means second hand car. Okay, so what exactly suppose आपण देखा जाउथिबे देखिबे pre-owned car are sold here देखिबे 100% are sold एठे बिका जाए मु बिकुची बोली केही कहंतिनी. So आपण देखंतु forget about I mean English ओडिया रे आपण 30% of your conversation rooted through passive 100%. आपण निजे देखंतु lot of examples are there मु आपन दे देउचे बे but unfortunately जेतले आपण spoken English चेष्टा करछिन कहिया पय you are trying to speak it out. The problem is that you guys are unable to understand like कोठे मु distinguish करबी active passive. आपण माने you are losing your plot, you are losing your path. No, आपण देखिबे मते फोकस करियार अछि action ऊपर. It is all about action. जेतले action अछि एठी तले मते कोन करिवार अछि passive यूज करिवि. Active यूज करिवार अछि तले मो से लोकटा को आइडेंटिफाई करिवि. Okay, don't use it was done by me. Look, this is a pretty bad precedent. तार मीनिंग किछ न थाय. मो ऑलरेडी आपण मानु कहि दैछि I am eating a mango. A mango is eaten by me. ता मीनिंग से आगे you think in a different way. तो यार किसी मीनिंग न था. The meaning is that if you are very much sure that you need to identify that person, you need to identify that person, then tell Prasanna sir has done it, Swagatika ma'am has done it, Badal sir has done it, Tapan sir has done it, Mandakin ma'am has done it. जदि अपन जानी नाहती don't say by him, you say it was done. तमाने एटा किए करछ मु जानि एटा हे जाइछि बट आपण गाड़ीटा देके आस्थिबे टेलर शॉप रे किछि कपड़ा देके आस्थिबे सिलाई करिया पे फोन करंती मो कामटा हे जाइछि हां सर हे जाइछि से कहूछि मु कर देइछि नो हां सर हे जाइछि आपण आसी नै पारंती. So in a day to day life you guys are using a lot of passive in ओडिया रे आपण अनेक passive यूज करंती किंतु इंग्लिश रे जते आपण यूज करंती आपण कहंती केमति कोन करबी कोठे बाय क्लॉज लगे देबी नो थिंक क्रिएट द सिचुएशन बिफोर यू. आपण जो सिचुएशन टा ओडिया रे जेमते कहउछंती सेमते लॉट ऑफ सिचुएशन कम्स बिफोर यू. मु ट्रांसलेशन कथा कहउनी आपण को मन रखिथिबे मु केतला ट्रांसलेशन को प्रोत्साहन दिएनी. आई नेवर टेल यू टू गो फॉर ट्रांसलेशन. मु कहउची सिचुएशन देखंतु टेक द सिचुएशन ए सिचुएशन रे मते पैसिव यूज करिवार अछि. And how it becomes, once you use more and more and more and more, obviously it becomes a practice, and practice makes a man perfect. Apan janichanti, right? So what is more important? Apan dekhile this is something called object plus modal plus there are numerous examples. It can be done, it should be done, Okay, let me give another example. Okay, you take a screenshot if possible. I'm going to erase it. Okay, so let me give another example. Okay, suppose I may have to logay gote mu karuchi and tar meaning ta mu apanku bujhebi how exactly. Suppose like in my team a lot of people are there. In my team lot of people are there. So out of which Swagatika ma'am. So mu Swagatika ma'am koi ma'am, you have to do this. You have to complete the task. So whenever I say have, that means I am compelling him. I am forcing her. I am forcing somebody. I have to go. Suppose there's a difference between have. Look, have to the quote abuse for me. I have already explained a lot before, but let me explain today also because ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଏମିତି ଭାବନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଇଚ୍ଛା ନାହିଁ. You don't have any interest. You don't have any intention also. କିନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ବାଧ୍ୟ କରାଯାଉଛି ଗୋଟେ କାମ କରିବା. Suppose it's a very foggy morning in the morning and you don't want to wake up. You don't want to wake up. You want to lie down on your bed. तो मामा आपन कहउछन मार्केट जाओ बोल तो आपन कोन कहै ओ माय गॉड I don't want to go but I have to go because somebody is forcing you. तो normally in office environment के माने कामटा को आपन भला भाबे जानछन कि काम निजो जिल रे करन दिल को नहीं करंतनी. They always need a forcing from back side. Hey तमे ए काम करिवो से काम कर like a lot of assignment happens. Okay, so suppose whenever I say you have to complete the task, that means a day this is something called an offensive way. ମୁଁ ଜଣକୁ ଫୋର୍ସ କରୁଛି. So my focus is on subject. ଏଇଠି ମୁଁ ସବଜେକ୍ଟ ଉପରେ ଫୋକସ ଟା ରଖୁଛି. ବଟ୍ ଭାବନ୍ତୁ ମୁଁ ସବଜେକ୍ଟ ଉପରେ ଫୋକସ ରଖିବିନି କାହିଁକି ନା ମୁଁ ଚାହୁଁନି କାହାକୁ ଅଫେଣ୍ଡ କରିବା. ତ ମୋର ଉଦ୍ଦେଶ୍ୟ ହଉଛି କାମଟା ହେଇଯିବା ଦରକାର. ତ how can I say the task has to be completed. ଆପଣ ଏଇଟା ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ ବ୍ୟବହାର କରୁଛନ୍ତି କେମିତି ଜାଣିଛନ୍ତି କାମଟା ହବା ଦରକାର. ଆପଣ ବହୁତ ଜାଗାରେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଛାଡ଼ନ୍ତୁ ଆମ ଭିତରେ ଝଗଡ଼ା ହେଇ କିଛି ଲାଭ ନାହିଁ କାମଟା ହବା ଦରକାର. ତ କାମଟା ହବା ଦରକାର that's a passive things. କିଏ କରିବ ଆପଣ କହୁନାହାନ୍ତି try to understand. ମୁଁ suppose you are my teammate. ତ ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଇଣ୍ଡିଭିଜୁଆଲ ନା ମନ୍ଦାକିନି ମ୍ୟାମ୍ ନା ବାଦଲ ସାର୍ ନା ମାନସ ସାର୍ ନା ତପନ ସାର୍ ନା ଜୟ ସାର୍ ନା ସ୍ୱାଗତିକ ମ୍ୟାମ୍ I don't want to force anybody. ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ କହୁଛି ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ you are my teammate. I don't know will do the work but work has to be completed. ଆପଣ କହିବେ ସାର୍ ଏଟା have ଅଛି have କାଇଁ ଲାଗିଲା you ପାଇଁ have ଅଛି but task is a singular. This is called singular noun. ତ singular noun ପାଇଁ has to ଲାଗିଛି. Okay, when it comes to singular then it should be to. It is they tax ହେଇଥାନ୍ତା s ଲାଗିଥାନ୍ତା have ହେଇଥାନ୍ତା. Okay, so ଏଠି ଆପଣ କଣ my entire focus is on the completion part. देखो ଆମେ ଏମିତି କହୁନାହାନ୍ତି ତମ ଭିତରୁ କିଏ କରିବ ମୁଁ ଜାଣିନି କାମଟା ହବା ଦରକାର. ତ did I point out any person? No, my entire thing is that ମୋ କାମ ହେଇଯିବା ଦରକାର. ତମ ଭିତରୁ କିଏ କରୁଛି I don't care. That's the exact meaning of passive. ତ ଆମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଚାହୁଁଛନ୍ତି କାମ ହେଇଯାଉ focus is on action. ପ୍ରଥମରୁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ କହି ଆସୁଛି ଯେବେଠୁ ଆମେ active and passive start କଲେ. So two things you have to remember. You always bear in mind that whenever you want to identify the person who did the work or is doing the work or who does the work, then you active. You don't want to focus on the subject. କିଏ କରିଛି ଦରକାର ନାହିଁ ଆପଣ action ଉପରେ ଦରକାର. ଆପଣ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ସେ କାମଟା ହେଇଗଲା ହଁ ହେଇଗଲା. ହଁ ହେଇଗଲା ମାନେ ଆପଣ ସେଟା କୋଉଥିରେ କୁହନ୍ତି passive ରେ କୁହନ୍ତି. But very unfortunately ମୁଁ ବୁଝିପାରେନି ଆପଣ ମାନେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ସ୍ପୋକନ ଇଂଲିଶ ୟୁଜ କରନ୍ତି ତ ଆପଣ ପୁଣି ଆକ୍ଟିଭ ୟୁଜ କରିଦିଅନ୍ତି. କିରେ ସେଠି ତ ପ୍ୟାସିଭ କହିଲେ ପୁଣି ଏଠି କାହିଁ ଆକ୍ଟିଭ ୟୁଜ କଲେ ବିକଜ ଅଫ ଲ୍ୟାକ୍ ଅଫ ଅଣ୍ଡରଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡିଂ. କାହିଁକି ନା ଓଡ଼ିଆଟା ଆପଣ ନିଜ ମାତୃଭାଷା ଇଟ୍ସ ମଦର ଟଙ୍ଗ. ସୋ ଏଇଟା ଅଟୋମେଟିକ ଆପଣ ବୁଝିପାରୁଛନ୍ତି ଆକ୍ଟିଭ ପ୍ୟାସିଭ ଭିତରେ ଡିଫରେନ୍ସ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଜଣା ପଡୁନି. ବଟ୍ ଆପଣ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଇଂଲିଶରେ ବିପଦ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଆପଣ ଆକ୍ଟିଭ ପ୍ୟାସିଭ ହଠାତ୍ ଧରି ପକଉଛନ୍ତି ତ ସେଥିପାଇଁ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଏଇଟା ହବ କିନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣ ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ ବହୁତ ପ୍ୟାସିଭ କୁହନ୍ତି. फॉर एग्जांपल आपण घरे बसचंती रोसई चलची आपण यू आर स्टार्विंग बहुत माने आपण बहुत माने मात्रा रे पूरा माने भोकरे अछंती तो सेही समय रे आपण कहउछंती कोन हेई गला आपण कहउछंती किए रोसई करूची वेदर इट इज डन वेदर इट इज डन घरु आसीबो उत्तर 10 मिनिट रे हेई जीवो इट विल बी कंप्लीटेड इन 10 मिनिट्स तो सेटा कोन पैसिव आपण एक्टिव रे कथा तो हुंतनी सेही समय रे मध्य चारटा बसिची 10 मिनिट वेट करो चारटा बसी किए बसी कहू से जो लोकटी आपन कहूची से निजको आइडेंटिफाई करूची कि आपण निजे कहू नांती आपण गोटे चारटा बसथिले आपण मिसेस हुंतु लाइक मामा हुंतु बा सिस्टर हुंतु आपण कहउछंती तो तांकू कहबा हेई गेला कि चा चारटा बसिची माने हु इज डूइंग द वर्क दे आर नॉट ट्राइंग टू आइडेंटिफाई दैट्स इट so there are a lot of situations in your life that comes through passive also but very unfortunately whenever it comes to spoken English we feel there is active and passive no use that for the situation फंडा इज सेम ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ବାରମ୍ବାର କହୁଛି ଫଣ୍ଡା ଇଜ ସେମ୍ ଆପଣ ସେ ଲୋକଟାକୁ ଆଇଡେଣ୍ଟିଫାଇ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଚାହିଁବେ ୟୁଜ ଆକ୍ଟିଭ ବାଇ କ୍ଲଜ ଦରକାର ନାହିଁ ସ୍ପୋକନ ଇଂଲିଶ by done by me no it was done by me not required here say I have done it over kahi apan ownership neba pai chahunchନ୍ତି what is the need of it was done by me eta kiye karchi I have done it eta kiye karchi no idea it was done over तो जदि एक्चुअली आप ओनरशिप नवा pai chahunchନ୍ତି and you have seen that particular action and you want to identify that person use active if you don't want to identify the person either you don't know or due to certain reasons you don't want to identify the person who did the work it's always use passive over so this is how exactly modals in passive तो मु जो फॉर्मूला टा देली आपन को लाइक ऑब्जेक्ट प्लस modal plus b plus v3 so this is something called this is used in the present tense this is called present tense passive then you might be thinking sir is there anything called past tense passive yes it is there so let me bring another example past रे हमें केमती होची देखिवा then we have to go actually in details okay suppose मु आपन को गोटे एक्टिव रे गोटे जिंस कहूची you can do this work you can do this work right so whenever I say you can do this work you can do this work this is something called you know you can do this work it is called active upon janichandi because I am trying to identify something called you what is you is the subject एटा को मो पैसिव रे जदी कहबो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली I can say work the this work can be done this is called can is called passive be done already कहथिली so एटा मु एटा हले कोन this is called present tense this is more about present tense तो can रे past tense कोन could एटा हले जदी थांता you could do this work past tense रे जदी मु कहबी the work this work could have been done 1 minute please ask me and believe me ए जो जिनसटा मु आपन कहली व्हाट एवर द थिंग्स आई हैव ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू लाइक ऑब्जेक्ट मॉडल हैव एंड बीन ऑल द थिंग्स ए जिनसटा को आपन सेपरेटली पढिबा हम एटा दिस इज कॉल्ड पास्ट मॉडल्स द पास्ट मॉडल्स कौन छ आउ पास्ट मॉडल को जगह रे व्यवहार करी हो पैसिव रे नॉट एक्टिव रे आपन करि परिबे one is called model of lost opportunity model of something called repent and something called model of regret बहुत जगह आप रिग्रेट करते ये कामटा करी ही था रिग्रेट करती मुझे जापारी था रिग्रेट मुझे जापारी गलिनी दिस इज कॉल्ड लॉस्ट अपॉर्चुनिटी तो दैट इज कॉल्ड कुड हैव बहुत जगह आप हैव यूज करती कुड हैव यूज करती मस्ट हैव यूज करती किंतु आप जानी पारना कोट यूज करेंगे जदि मॉडल्स कौन कुड हैव वुड हैव शुड हैव सेमती तार पैसिवटा हम कुड हैव बीन वुड हैव बीन तो कोड यूज करबा जेंत हम कहते कैन कोड यूज करना ना एबिलिटी अर्थ रे तो कैन बी अपन सिचुएशन देखैली तो सेमती द लॉट ऑफ सिचुएशन यू कैन यूज इट राइट तो एथि पे गोटे सेपरेट क्लास मोर दरकार या से मिसई देले आपनकर माइंड कैन नॉट बी एनालिटिक तो माइंड ता एनालिटिक होबा पहले अपन गोटे सेपरेट क्लास एथि पे दरकार सो आई एम गोइंग टू टेक योर नेक्स्ट सेशन जेतला में जिबा आई एम गोइंग टू टेल यू पास्ट मॉडल्स इन पैसिव मन रखितांदो पास्ट मॉडल्स इन पैसिव past models से passive रे केमती व्यवहार करिया we are going to discuss that and up to today मु आपन कहि देली normal models can may might it may be done it might be done be एटा करा जाई पारिबो like that बहुत जगह आपन कहउछन आपन देखुछन एटा करा जाई पारिबो तो केमती आपन इंग्लिश रे कहिबे it might be done it may be done किंतु आपन सेटा यूज करि परना बट आज मु कहिली upon 40% of our conversation rooted through passive and try to identify and use it. Now question. You have any other questions you can ask me.